Imagine waking up every single morning and the first thing your brain does is slap you across the face with a memory of the dumbest thing you did when you were 12, and it won't let go until you're sweating and red, even though nobody else on earth remembers or cares. That was Dylan's life from the time he was about 15 until he was almost 20. Nonstop, 24-hour cringe reruns that felt like someone else was holding the remote, and they only picked the worst episodes. Dylan looked totally normal. Tallish, messy brown curls, always in hoodies even when it was hot, quiet voice. Worked the afternoon shift at a little smoothie place near campus. Customers liked him because he made the drinks fast and never messed up orders. His coworkers thought he was shy but nice. Nobody knew that inside his head was a movie theater that only played horror films starring himself. It started small. Middle school stuff that most people forget by high school. Called his science teacher Mom once and 30 kids laughed. Tripped carrying his lunch tray and spilled chocolate milk all over the hottest girl in 8th grade. Got a surprise boner in gym shorts during dodgeball and had to fake a stomach ache to sit out. Normal kid disasters. Except Dylan's brain decided these were blockbuster movies that needed to be watched again and again and again. By sophomore year of high school, the playlist grew. Said, "I love you" first to a girl, and she ghosted him. Threw up on the back of the school bus after chugging 2 Mountain Dews on a dare. Accidentally sent a text that said, "My mom is so annoying" to his mom. Every single one came with full HD replay, surround sound embarrassment, and that stomach drop feeling like you're on a roller coaster that never ends. He tried everything kids try. Told himself nobody remembers. His brain laughed and hit play louder. Blasted music in his headphones. The memories just danced on top of the beat. Stayed up gaming until sunrise so he'd be too tired to think. Woke up and the second his eyes opened, bam, there's the time you waved at someone who wasn't waving at you. He started wearing hoodies with the hood up, even indoors, so less people could see him blush when a memory attacked in public. Nights were torture. He'd crawl into bed at midnight hoping to pass out fast, but the second the room went dark, the projector started. Here's the greatest hits collection. The time you sneezed so loud in a silent test everyone turned. The time you tried to do a backflip off the diving board and belly flopped. The time you cried in front of your friends because your dog died and they called you a baby for a week. He'd squeeze his eyes shut, pull the blanket over his head, hum songs, anything. Sometimes he'd get up and pace his room until 4 a.m. just so the movement would drown it out for a minute. His body started falling apart. Dark circles so bad his mom thought he was doing drugs. Lost 15 pounds because eating around people felt dangerous. What if he chewed funny or dropped food? Hands shook when he had to talk in class. He stopped raising his hand even when he knew the answer because attention felt like a spotlight on every past mistake. He quit the soccer team because running in front of people gave his brain new material. Friends drifted away because he always said no to hangouts. Can't, gotta study. Truth was he couldn't handle the risk of creating another memory that would haunt him later. Senior year, he had one friend left, Marcus, who never gave up inviting him places. One night they went to a house party. Dylan spent the whole time in the corner sipping water, praying he wouldn't say or do anything stupid. Then someone started telling embarrassing stories, and the whole room was laughing. Marcus told the story of the time Dylan screamed on a carnival ride. Everyone cracked up, including Dylan on the outside, but inside he was dying. He made an excuse and left early, drove home shaking, added a brand new memory to the loop. The night you were the lame kid who couldn't handle a joke. College made it worse. New people, new chances to mess up. He picked community college close to home so he could live with his mom and hide easier. Got the smoothie job because it was simple. Smile, blend, hand over cup, done. But even there the memories attacked. A cute girl ordered a strawberry banana and smiled at him, and his brain went straight to the time he told his crush he liked her and she laughed. He dropped the blender lid, turned red, finished the drink in silence. She never came back to his register. Dating? Forget it. He liked a girl named Lila who worked at the record store next door. They talked every shift break for weeks. She laughed at his jokes, touched his arm, asked him to the county fair. He said yes and spent the next 7 days in full panic. Practiced what to say, what not to say, what to wear, how to stand. The night came. They had actual fun. Ferris wheel, ring toss. He won her a tiny shark, shared cotton candy. Fireworks started. He got brave and put his arm around her. She leaned in. Perfect moment. And that's when his brain decided to play the ultimate betrayal reel. Every embarrassing thing from age 5 to 19 and fast forward. Peeing his pants in 3rd grade, vomiting on the bus, crying about his dog, dropping the blender lid last week. Full color, full volume. His face went nuclear red. He yanked his arm away like he'd been burned. Lila asked, "You okay?" He mumbled, "Yeah," and spent the rest of the fireworks frozen. Dropped her off with barely a good night. Went home and punched his bedroom wall until his knuckles bled. Next day she texted, "Last night felt weird toward the end. Everything good?" He stared at the message for 3 hours, wrote 10 different replies, deleted them all, and never answered. Blocked her number so he wouldn't be tempted. Added the fare to the permanent playlist. The night you ruined the best chance you ever had with a girl who actually liked you. That was rock bottom. He stopped leaving his room except for work. Quit talking to Marcus. Lost another 10 pounds. His mom found him crying in the dark one night and begged him to see a therapist. He said he was fine. He wasn't fine. Then came the night in the Walmart parking lot. It was 1:47 a.m. 2 weeks after the fair. He couldn't sleep, shocker, and didn't want his mom to hear him pacing. So he grabbed his keys and drove. Ended up parked under a flickering streetlight, screaming at himself in the car. Why can't you just be normal? Why do you have to ruin everything? You're 19 and your life is already over. Banging the steering wheel, tears and snot everywhere, full meltdown. An old pickup truck pulled into the empty spot 2 away. Older guy, maybe 70, gray beard, baseball cap, got out super slow and started unloading grocery bags. Dylan didn't even care, just kept crying. The guy noticed, walked over, tapped on the window with one knuckle. Dylan rolled it down, face wrecked, expecting to get told to leave or something. Instead, the guy just said, "You all right, son?" Dylan lost it. All of it came out. The memories, the fair, Lila, the bus vomit, the teacher mom thing, how he couldn't stop the replays, how he hated himself, everything. 10 straight minutes of word vomit to a total stranger in a parking lot at 2 a.m. The old guy didn't flinch, just leaned against the car and listened like it was the most normal thing in the world. When Dylan finally ran out of words and sat there breathing hard, the guy scratched his beard, looked up at the sky for a second, and said 5 words Dylan will never forget. "Those movies are already over." Then he nodded once, walked back to his truck, got in, and drove away. Dylan sat there staring at the dashboard. "Those movies are already over." He said it out loud. Again and again. One of the memories tried to start, the pee pants one, always a classic, and for the first time ever he answered it out loud. That movie is already over. The memory still played, but it felt different, like watching it on a tiny phone screen instead of a giant theater. The stomach drop was smaller. The heat in his face faded faster. He drove home repeating it like a lunatic. Parked, went inside, grabbed a sticky note, wrote "Those movies are already over" in all caps, and slapped it on his bedroom mirror right at eye level. Next morning, the alarm went off and the first memory attacked. The U2 at the movie theater when the worker said, "Enjoy your show." Dylan opened his eyes, saw the sticky note, and whispered, "Movie's over." Kept whispering it while he brushed his teeth. The memory still came, but it didn't ruin breakfast. He went to work, and when the blender lid memory tried to start, he said it under his breath. A customer asked what he said. He just smiled and handed over the smoothie. He turned it into a habit. Every single time an old memory started playing, he said the sentence out loud or in his head. At first he felt ridiculous, said it 50 times some days. But every time he did, 2 things happened. 1, he remembered the moment was done and couldn't actually hurt him anymore. And 2, he felt like he was finally talking back to the bully in his brain instead of just letting it punch him. He added little upgrades. When the memory finished playing and the shame wave hit, he'd add, "And nobody got hurt, and nobody even remembers, and I'm still here." Some days he wrote the memory down on a piece of paper, read it out loud, then ripped it up and threw it away. Felt dramatic, but worked. Weeks in, the volume dropped. The movies still played sometimes. Old habits die hard, but they were background noise instead of the main event. He started sleeping 6 hours, then 7, then 8. Put the 15 pounds back on because eating didn't feel scary anymore. Started talking to customers at work instead of just nodding. Text Marcus, "Yo, I've been a ghost. Can we hang?" They played video games the next night, and Dylan laughed so hard he cried. Happy tears this time. 3 months after the parking lot, he got brave and unblocked Lila's number. Sent the longest text of his life explaining the memories, the fair, how sorry he was, that he was working on it. Ended with, "No pressure, just wanted you to know it wasn't you." She replied the next day with a voice note. "Dude, I thought you hated me. Coffee tomorrow? Movies are over." They've been together 8 months now. He still has bad days. Some mornings the projector tries to start loud, and he has to say the sentence 20 times before breakfast. But the difference is night and day. He goes to parties. He tells the old embarrassing stories himself and laughs first. He even made a TikTok joking about the time he called his teacher Mom, and it got 200K views, comments full of people sharing their own cringe. He read every single one smiling. He still has the original sticky note on his mirror, edges curled, ink a little faded. Added a second one underneath that says, "Make new movies worth watching." His phone background is a picture of him and Lila at last year's fair, arms around each other, fireworks in the sky, both of them laughing. If your brain is a broken TV stuck on the worst channels, do this tonight. Grab any piece of paper, write "Those movies are already over" in big letters, stick it where you'll see it first thing tomorrow. The second an old memory starts playing, say the sentence out loud. Doesn't matter if you feel dumb. Say it anyway. Say it every single time. Watch what happens after a week. Dylan never found the old guy again. Drove by that Walmart, sometimes hoping to say thank you. Doesn't matter. 5 random words from a stranger in a parking lot gave him his life back. Watch the next story about the girl who stopped hating her body with one sentence she started saying in the shower every morning.